JJ the CPA here. Good morning. Talking about banking secrets. I'm here in Maryville, Indiana. Maybe you can see, maybe you can't, but got some nice big snowflakes coming down. But I wanted to continue my conversation with you as it relates to banking secrets. And the one thing that I want you to do is stop getting emotional about it right now. This isn't an emotional decision for the bank. I get it's emotional for you. But what you need to understand is, as we've talked about in other videos, the banks want to make sure they get paid back, that's all. So if they got questions, you just need to be prepared to answer them. And so what's one of the great things by listening to these videos is I'm going to help you figure out what some of these questions are. And as it relates to that, you can't get all mad about it, because basically when you start getting mad, what do you think the bank's going to think about that? It's not, I mean, they may think kind of being a baby here, right? But the bank's going to be thinking like, well, what do they have to hide? I mean, like, why are they so frustrated that we're asking some questions? And it's not that they're going to not give you the loan or whatever, but you don't want to be in a circumstance where then someone's wondering why you're being all a jerk. So just think, if you had a customer and you call them and like, hey, we're ready to do the install, we're ready to come out and do the service, and they're like, well, why haven't you been out here yet? I need you to get done. Why is it going to cost this much? I thought you said it was going to be this. Why is it taking so long? What's your reaction to that customer going to be? Huh? Let's be honest. What's your reaction going to be to that customer? You're probably going to be like, because if you're, you're big time, you're watching this video, right? You're big time. You're going to be like, listen, dude or gal, you can go find somebody else. Anyways, so when you're anticipating secrets of the banking questions to come, it's all about cash flow. That's what they're looking at. They're looking at cash flow. So when they ask you questions like, okay, so you've put together this business plan and there's going to be this many clients that you're going to put together, where will those clients come from? Oh, well, they're going to come from, and by golly, you better know. I mean, right? Are you telling me you just wake up in the morning and go, well, I sure hope that stuff just happens today, right? If someone said, how are you going to open the door, you'd have a plan, right? Yes, you would. So it's not that you have to have everything figured out, but the things that are going to be obvious is, where's this new revenue going to come from? Or how do we know that the revenue is going to continue the way that you say that it's going to continue? What you should not hear is, hey, you idiot, you clearly don't know what you're doing. I don't care that you've been in business for 14 years. We're going to question you. Well, you're right. They don't care that you've been in business for 14 years. They are going to question you, but doesn't mean they think you're inept. Doesn't mean they think you're an idiot. I mean, geez, if banks didn't want to lend money to you, they'd just tell you right off. They're not going to waste a bunch of their time and effort, because guess what? A bank reaching no, you know how much a bank makes off of that? Nothing. So normally what happens too is these questions, they come from your relationship person. So even if you haven't known somebody, but maybe you've just gone into the bank and you got to know one of the tellers, you got to know the bank manager, or heck, maybe someone in the bank is, your kids are on the same athletic team or in the same class. And so that's the person that's calling to ask you the questions. And then that's why it feels personal. You're just like, Jimmy, who's this guy? He's just on the sidelines with me. His kid's not even any good at soccer or baseball. Now he's asking me where my customers are going to come from? I get it. That'd be frustrating. But here's what you need to know. It's actually not that guy that's really asking. The guy that's asking, or the gal, okay? Just when I say guy, you gotta remember where I'm from. That's just, we call everybody guys, okay? But the person that's really asking is the underwriter, right? And the underwriter is the person, what's their job? To make sure the bank's gonna get paid back. That's their job. So they're gonna have the questions. And you know what? They don't know you, but even if the underwriter did know you, they're still gonna have those same questions. So Now when you have a situation where someone is asking you questions, whether you know them well or there's some kind of personal relationship, now you're taking it personal. And now you kind of feel like what's happened is they've, shown up in your house, and then they're in your living room and they're asking you questions because this is somebody that you would trust. Man, there are some huge snowflakes coming down here. But anyways, that's why you start getting offended, right? But here's the thing you should know is that typically your relationship person, they just stare at you and go, man, that sounds like a great idea. Here's your $250,000. Best of luck to you. Man, that's awesome. Because your relationship manager, why do you think the bank has a relationship manager? Because they're the ones that want to make sure the business gets done. Why do you think that separately it's an underwriter? Because that's not your friend. The banks don't want a friend or the friendly one, or when you think of a bank representative, or they're the ones that have the relationship, right? They have a personality that goes along with that. Why? Because you're not going to walk into a bank and somebody's like, how may I help you? And you go, hey, can I get a loan with you? You're going to be like, get out of here. You're going to want, or the bank's going to want someone to be like, hey, how you doing? Boy, if you need any loans, we're here to help. That's what they're doing, right? What's the job behind the scenes, behind the door of the underwriter? Good morning. I need to analyze this. I'm not making an emotional decision. I don't know who this person is. That is why the bank has them separated out, okay? It's not because the bank's big. It's because it's smart. And here's what you need to know about the underwriter. You know who questions them? The United States government, okay? You probably get all concerned if you get an IRS letter. Well, they're dealing with them every day, right? Meaning FDIC, Federal Depository Insurance Commission or Corporation. They're the ones that are making sure that bank's making good decisions. And the FDIC doesn't come in and be like, oh, but that was that person? Yeah, you're right, you made a good decision. There's no reason you need to ask any questions and get a business plan and ask where they got their customers. That's good folk. That's good folk right there. That's not what the FDIC is doing. Well, I think back years ago when we were on collapse because of freaking financial institutions. So the government's even had to lock down anymore. So when they're asking the questions, it's for regulators. And when your buddy's asking questions, or your friend or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whatever we want to call these wonderful people at the banks, are asking you questions, it's from the underwriter. Okay, and they don't feel good about it. They don't want to say, "Hey, listen, could you clarify this for us?" They don't really feel comfortable doing that. So sometimes the bankers are no good. They need to do a little better training, in my opinion, with these banks. Meaning with these reps that are up front. They're like, "Hey, how you doing? Here's some golf balls, free pin, got a toaster for you." And I'm not even making fun of them. Okay, I'm not making fun of them because that's what a bank's hired. But maybe they need to do a little better job that when you're following up. I've had to even call bankers and say, listen, when you're asking a question, you better ask it a little more clearly, or have a little empathy of the way that you're asking this. Understand the questions that you're asking makes the client feel like you don't trust them. Okay. So if you're just prepared, I don't even want to say it's thick skin, if you're just prepared and understand the purpose of the questions and the intent behind them, then you're not going to be emotional, right? Here's the deal, Gordon Gekko, do not get emotional about money, okay? No, I know it's emotional because I like to make it. I'm sure you do too. That's why you're watching this, right? You like to get it, you like to expand it, you like to leverage it. Bam! Banks are key in that, okay? You're not going anywhere, most likely, to the moon as far as you can go without a bank. And why would you? Why would you always want to use your own money? You'd want to use the bank's money. So it's not about playing the game, right? We're not talking about that. We're just talking about how do you know how the game's played so that you're prepared for it. So if you've never been to an NFL football game, you've never seen a football game, and you get out on the 50-yard line and someone passes you the ball and then everybody starts running at you and tackling your tail, you're going to be like, what in the world's going on here? I've never even seen such a thing, right? That's what you're going to be saying. But if someone said, hey, just so you know, if you get the ball, you better be running, well, then you're prepared and you're ready to rock, and you're not going to take it personal and start whining and crying and getting all upset and be like, well, I'm going to go talk to another bank. You're not going to be doing that, okay? Acting like a baby, having fun with you. All right, hey, listen, I got to get to a seminar. Kind of spent enough time on this issue. But anyways, all right. don't you ever forget, you've never met a CPA quite